Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be sharing with you U.S. education system versus Finland's education system, evaluating school systems to improve education. So I included just kind of a fun little infographic here for you to look through. It just kind of shows U.S. education system over the past probably 10 to 15 years versus Finland's. The Finnish school system might sound like a restless American school child's daydream, actually. School hours are cut in half. They have little homework, no standardized tests, and sometimes 50 to 75-minute recess times and free lunch. But the Finns' unconventional approach to education has vaulted Finland to kind of the upper echelons of the country's and overall academic performance, according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD. Finnish students have ranked at or near the top of the program for international student assessment ever since testing started in 2000. The most recent assessment in 2009, they ranked 6th in math, 2nd in science, and 3rd in reading. By comparison, U.S. students ranked 30th, 23rd, and 17th, respectively, of the 65 tested countries or economies. Kind of looking at the philosophies of education, traditionally the United States has kind of adopted an essentialism approach, meaning they strive to teach students kind of an accumulated knowledge base of our civilization through core courses in traditional academic disciplines, whereas Finland's philosophy is more progressive, or that of progressivism, meaning they organize schools around concerns, curiosity, and real-world experiences of their students. It's important to recognize that this was not always the case in Finland. In the 1970s, they were basically sputtering after about 100 years under Russian rule, and this really was impacting the quality of their education. So Parliament came together and they decided to revamp their whole system, really aiming to indeed leave no child left behind. Their goal was to give every single student a great education, and their success started to catch the attention of the rest of the world. So we're going to look in the next few slides some basic information, such as how Finnish schools are set up, what teachers look like in Finland as compared to the U.S., and then kind of what students look like in Finland compared to the U.S. So Finnish teachers actually spend fewer hours at school and less time teaching than their American counterparts do. Most schools are in session from 8 to 9 or until about 2 p.m., and teachers are given more time to prepare and evaluate their students. Something else that's really unique about Finland's school system is they stay with the same group of kids for about 5 to 6 years. This gives the teachers an opportunity to really know their students and foster those important relationships. There are no private schools in Finland, so the entire country is really invested in its educational system. Every school from preschool to the universities are public. Something else that I really admired about the Finnish system is if a school is struggling, they strive to pair it up with a successful school in order to kind of help pull them up. And additionally, the same goes for teachers. They're encouraged to reach out to each other if they're facing a challenging situation. Sometimes I feel in our current existing education system here in America, it's kind of this sink or swim mentality. New teachers are often thrown into the deep end of the pool and don't always feel supported or ready. The kicker I found, though, was that Finnish education is cost effective. They actually spend a third less than the U.S. does on a child's K through 12 education. When comparing the criteria for U.S. teachers and Finnish teachers are required to have a master's degree, which is actually fully subsidized as well. As we know, in the U.S., teachers are required to have a bachelor's degree and complete a 1-year teacher credential program, but a master's degree is not required. Most districts encourage teachers to continue to pursue their education, but it is not required. Something that I found really interesting was that in Finland there is only one rigorous teacher education program available for those who want to be teachers, whereas here in the U.S. we have over 1,500 different teacher prep programs, from private schools to state universities to online programs. There's a number of options for teachers in the U.S. to become credentialed. Now, while it's great to have options, sometimes with that many places to choose from, we can maybe have some issues as far as quality is concerned. In Finland, only the top 10% of graduates are accepted into teaching programs, and those students are not allowed to earn degrees in teaching unless they are able to fully demonstrate the knowledge, skills, and morals Finland has deemed necessary to be a successful teacher. Finnish teachers are very esteemed. They are put on the same level as doctors and lawyers, engineers. I feel in the U.S. sometimes teachers are undervalued for what they do. And teachers in Finland have a lot of autonomy. They get to create a lot of their own curriculum, whereas here we are given standards that are passed down through the state, nationally, just depending on your district, but we have to teach more, implement provided standards. There's a lot less autonomy in our school system. And something that Finland really recognizes that good teachers are essential. Not to say that we don't, but just from the research that I did, it seems that it's really a highly regarded career and something that they take very seriously. Students. Finnish schools wanted to make sure that, same here, we want our schools to be safe places, but every single student there receives free lunch and access to health care and mental health services and guidance counselors. This is going to make students more mentally and physically prepared to learn. Teacher aides are dedicated to help struggling kids and especially immigrant children. There's a growing population of immigrants going into Finland, and they want to make sure that these students have the tools that they need to be successful. Students in Finland do less homework than kids in almost any other nation. The average is typically about less than an hour per day. They feel that the child learns most of what they need to know in the classroom, so the time out of the classroom is meant for fostering and nurturing those other relationships, so friends, family, hobbies, interests. They don't start school as early as we do here. Here, kids typically start at 5 for kindergarten, but they don't start until they're about 7 years old. They do, however, go to free, subsidized, kind of play-based preschools. And what these schools aim to do is kind of gently prepare them for what a classroom is going to look like as far as guidelines, criteria, things of that nature. And they play a lot. They really advocate playtime. The average Finnish student typically has 50 to 75 minutes a day of recess compared to the mere 27 that most U.S. kids get. And they give kids lots of breaks in between lessons to kind of give them a chance to reset. Globally, the PISA is a test that is going to be given to 15-year-old students throughout the world, and it's going to test their critical thinking in math, science, and reading. The test questions, they're not aiming to measure facts or memorization, but they want to be able to test what a student knows, drawing on their own knowledge and real-world problem-solving skills. So again, it's administered to 15-year-olds in 65 countries, regardless of grade, achievement, and socioeconomic status. That is often referred to as an apples-to-apples comparison. Because high ranking on PISA correlates to economic success, researchers have concluded that these scores can kind of indicate how well a country is preparing its students to be successful in the 21st century. So if you look here, you can see that Finland ranked 12th in the 2012 PISA results, whereas the U.S. ranked 26th. So they outscored us in mathematics, reading, and science. So conclusion, what can we learn from Finland? On the policy side, there's a lot I feel that we can learn. We need to give our teachers some more autonomy. Finland allows its teachers to teach how they want to teach because they know that they've prepared them so well to do that. We need to fund schools equally to create greater equality and give every child access to a good education, regardless of which neighborhood they live in or socioeconomic status, things of that nature. I think having more recess, maybe just getting kids outside more. Studies show that seems to kind of help them be more prepared to learn in the classroom when they have that outlet time. Asking for help. As teachers, we need to help each other. It's important. There's no sense in recreating the wheel or struggling. You know, we should all be able to help one another. Get to know your students. That's a huge part of student success, when they feel that their teacher actually knows them and cares about them. And then keep learning for yourself. It's important as teachers to continue to be lifelong learners and always kind of better ourselves, for not only for us but for the students that we teach. Thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful Sunday.